A number of smartphones uses IPS LCD panel with a more limited contrast ratio and color reproduction. If you want to experience a more pleasant visual on the screen, you should choose a smartphone device that offers an OLED panel. OLED panels have a myriad of advantages such as higher power efficiency, wider colors, and unmatched contrast ratio. OLED also has several derivatives, namely AMOLED, Super AMOLED, Dynamic AMOLED, LTPO AMOLED, and we also added information about Super Retina XDR OLED. Each of these types of OLED panels has a unique and diverse characteristics. Here we present the point of difference between the OLED panels. OLED does have many variations of derived panels, but don't worry, you only need to look at the points below to understand the difference. Number 1. OLED. OLED screen comprise millions of carbon-based diodes, hence the name organic light emitting diode. These diodes are a mixture of red, green, and blue emitters that can be arranged in several ways. When an electric current is applied, light is emitted because each pixel handles its light and color thanks to its ability to emit light originally without the aid of backlight. OLED panels are also considered more energy efficient than IPS LCDs. The advantages of OLED panels are also their production cost, which tends to be cheaper than those of AMOLED or other types of OLED derivatives. The OLED panel presents a wider viewing angle and an LCD is flexible and can display true black, which result in a high contrast ratio. Despite its advantages, OLED panels have the potential to be affected by burn-in or image retention issue. When displaying static visual element in the same place for a long duration, it will ghost and permanently imprint on the screen over time. AMOLED is an update of the OLED panel. This panel has a number of improvements that make it able to provide better visuals. AMOLED stands for Active Metric Organic Light Emitting Diode. AMOLED is a technology developed by Samsung. Compared to OLED, you can enjoy various advantages of AMOLED such as longer lifespan, more resistance to the extreme weather, and a higher level of brightness or lighting. Just like OLED, AMOLED also does not require a backlight, so it is able to maintain battery life so that it doesn't run out easily. The contrast ratio of AMOLED is also very good, able to reach the lowest light level at 0 nits or true black. The response time provided is also faster than the majority of LCD panels, so AMOLED panels tend to be suitable for playing games as well as enjoying beautiful visual on the screen because of their good color accuracy. Unfortunately, production costs for AMOLED are higher than those for regular IPS LCD or OLED. But now, the AMOLED not only for high-end devices, also available in mid-range smartphone. Even some brand put the AMOLED for standard display for mid-range smartphone. Number 3. Super AMOLED. If AMOLED is a form of improvement over OLED, then Super AMOLED can be said to be an improvement over AMOLED. Just like regular AMOLED, Super AMOLED can display unlimited contrast ratio due to the absence of a backlight layer in it, so each pixel displays its own light. When there is no electricity, then the pixel really does not light up. That is why cell phones with IPS LCD or TFT panels cannot implement the always-on display feature. Compared to the regular AMOLED, you can expect a 20% increase in terms of power consumption and screen brightness. Super AMOLED is also allegedly capable of reducing the reflection of sunlight by up to 80% compared to AMOLED, as claimed by Samsung. Super AMOLED is a higher tier version that combines the touch sensor with the screen itself rather than being layered on top of it. Therefore, Super AMOLED is also thinner when compared to the regular OLED panels. Number 4. Dynamic AMOLED. Coming in 2019, the Dynamic AMOLED panel is improvement over Super AMOLED. All the properties of the Super AMOLED are also owned by Dynamic AMOLED. The difference is that Samsung provides additional HDR10 Plus certification so that the colors, contrast, and brightness levels are even better. The Dynamic AMOLED panel also supports the DCI-P3 color gamut, so the screen will always display punchy colors at any brightness level. A As for other advantages, dynamic AMOLED tends to be minimal in producing blue light emissions. That way, the user's eyes don't get tired easily. Dynamic AMOLED also often has an additional 2x behind it, indicating that the screen has twice the refresh rate of 120Hz. Number 5. LTPO AMOLED. LTPO AMOLED is a panel technology developed by Apple. LTPO itself stands for low temperature polycrystalline oxide, specifically designed to be able to set refresh rate as low as possible when no activity is detected on the screen. LTPO AMOLED was originally used by Apple for its smartwatch product, which was named the Apple Watch. As we know, a smartwatch requires the highest possible power efficiency in order to last a long time without having to charge it too often. With the use of LTPO AMOLED, the refresh rate on the Apple Watch screen can be lowered to 1 Hz when displaying a static image, and back to the 60 Hz when the screen is used or swiped. Thus, the battery can last much longer than it should. As technology develops, the LTPO AMOLED is also used on the high-end smartphones such as Oppo Find X3 Pro, Oppo Find X5 Pro, and Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 3. The drawbacks of this panel is that the production of this screen panel is very expensive, so it is only owned by flagship ones. OLED. Early OLED screens place all the organic materials on a glass substrate. However, glass is rigid, so a flexible plastic substrate was needed to create foldable display screens, leading to POLED screens. POLED, polymer organic light emitting diode, offers advantages in terms of durability and versatility. The replacement of glass substrates with a plastic makes them more shock resistant. Another unique advantage is in the implementation. Designers can reduce the bezel size by folding the electronics underneath on the edge of the display instead of placing it on the same plane. POLED displays are also thinner than OLED display with glass substrates. Note the difference between POLED and OLED. POLED is the trademark that LG Display uses to brand its plastic OLED displays. It produced this display for a variety of applications and companies. Google used POLED display on the Google Pixel 2 XL, LG used them on the LG Velvet and several wearables, and Apple reportedly used LG POLED displays on some Apple Watch models. LG's POLED displays seems to suffer from an increased risk of burn-in, as users of the Google Pixel 2 XL complained of burn-in after only a few months of use. Super Retina XDR OLED. Apart from LTPO AMOLED, Apple also has another OLED panel variant called Super Retina XDR OLED. This panel was first applied to the iPhone devices, has a wide dynamic range that is even more enhanced so that the blacks really look deep with white that look so pure. Not only that, Apple also claims that the Super Retina XDR OLED is the best OLED variant in the industry in terms of preventing burn-in issue. According to the Apple, the phone have a special algorithm that can monitor the usage of each individual pixel to generate calibration data. Then, the iPhone will also adjust the brightness level of each pixel automatically. This method is done so that the pixels do not display the same color for a long time. Now that you know the difference between the various types of OLED panels, you can make a choice about which smartphone you want to buy. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and see you in another video.